Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just gonna find us on live. Give us a like. We are live. All right, I got 4 of you watching already. Amazing, Christy. Hello. Please wave and say hello if you're watching already because I cannot see who it is unless you make a comment or a like or a love or something like that. Emily, hello. How are you? Just hang on. Pop that around like that. Beautiful. Okay. Great to have you here, guys. Today I am making my Caesar salad, which is one of my summer favorites, with my raw almond Caesar dressing. If you have my recipe download, this is in the recipe download as well. So go to it, you can follow the recipe there, or you can just watch along with me. So we've got a few things today. My Caesar includes some marinated tofu and some marinated chickpeas. So to give it a little bit of protein and starch in the recipe, as well as a little bit of oomph, because non-starchy vegetables are not very calorically dense, so we want to make sure that we're getting our energy from somewhere. So I will be working on those first. I'm going to work on those, and then I'm going to work on the dressing, and then we're going to bring all of the salad together, and then we're going to dress it. All right, so we're all following along. Hello. Hey, Sherry. Good to see you. Oh, whoops, not Siri. Did you hear that? My phone just started to wake up. Okay, so to start with, I've got probably about somewhere between 200 and 300 grams of tofu here. It doesn't really matter. I've got some that was left over, and I've opened a new block as well. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to slice it pretty thin. So if you think about what goes into, your normal Caesar dressing, there's usually some bacon in there, right? So what I'm doing here is wanting to cut my tofu and have it play the role of the bacon, I guess. I'm going to marinate it so it gives it some flavor, and then we're going to pop it on to a non-stick fry pan, and then fry it off. Just dry fry it off so that it gets nice and sticky and almost burnt on each side. Right. Oh, this is not very great tofu. Those of you in Australia, I normally get my tofu from Woolies. Woolies and their supply issues. Couldn't get any there, so I had to go to Coles. And now look what's happening. It's sort of ripping. But that's not an issue because we'll be cutting it up at a later date. So I'm just going to cut up some of that. I just want a few slices. It doesn't have to take over the whole dish. Now, last time I made this, I kept the remaining marinade, so I can just keep using that. But what's in here, I have a little bit of tamari. I'm using the Pure Harvest organic tamari. It's also gluten-free. So literally, I just pour a little bit in. It's roughly even amounts. I'm also using some coconut aminos this time as well. So just pour a little bit of that in. And if you have liquid smoke is really ideal to add to this as well. Now I'm just using a little bit of pure maple syrup here, not too much because I don't want it to be too sweet, but that just takes the edge off it. And so yeah, sorry to not be able to give you full measurements there. I think I've given you proper measurements in the recipe, but you can just make this to your taste. It tastes nice. Yeah, liquid smoke is actually better for getting that real smoky flavour. But do you think I can find any at the moment? No. So that's why I'm using some coconut aminos. Slightly different flavour, but that doesn't matter. So then I just layer my tofu into that. By the way, I haven't pressed this tofu. I know everyone talks about pressing tofu. I don't think I've ever pressed tofu in my life. It may come out better, sure, but it also doesn't matter. This is going to taste great regardless. Oops. Now we want to make sure that marinade fully that the tofu is fully covered by that marinade, but we can also go through and just shake it around a bit just to make sure that all the pieces are getting covered. I'm just going to set that aside for the moment. So that is the tofu. Now I'm also going to put on some chickpeas to marinate. So I've got what would be around about half a 400 gram tin, so around 200 grams or so of rinsed chickpeas in here. I thought I'd pre-rinse those so that you don't have to. In fact, I could have just left them in there, couldn't I? What am I thinking? Okay. And I'm going to put the same flavouring in here. So normally what I would do is I would have the tofu marinating first, and then when I put that on the grill, then I would use the same marinade to soak the chickpeas for a moment. But I won't do that today. I'll just a little bit of tamari into here, a little bit of coconut aminos. We'll just soak those separately. And then again, just a tiny little bit of maple. And just get those sort of absorbing the flavour too. We don't need them to marinate for too long. Like, we don't need to sit them for half an hour or anything like that. Just a few minutes to really absorb the flavour, and particularly with the tofu, those slices are really thin. So again, just mix those up a bit and set them aside. Shake, shake, shake with the tofu. Make sure everything's marinating. Everything's getting covered. All right, so that's the tofu and the chickpeas out of the way for the moment. Now I'm going to move on to my dressing. What I need is my NutriBullet. I don't know where I would be without a NutriBullet, and I don't know what I did before my NutriBullet. Alrighty, any questions so far? Hey Sandy. Hey Kirsten. Good to see you guys. Alrighty, so now 1 cup of raw almonds. So I put these almonds on to soak last night. A cup of almonds, they also need to be de-skinned as well, so that you're not getting the skins into the whole mix, the whole sauce. So what I usually do is when I want to skin the almonds, I will boil some water first and then soak the almonds in that boiling water. And when that water has cooled enough for me to be able to put my hands in there, that's when I start pulling the skins off. And it becomes easy at that point. The boiling water actually helps the skins lift away from the nuts really easily. So the de-skinning process doesn't take too long. And then I just rinse them off and then soak them overnight again as well. So that is a little bit of pre-preparation that you will need to do. Okay, so the almonds really need to be soaked for about 8 hours so that they're fully activated. And they come out really nice and crisp and plump. Yeah. Don't know if you can hear that, but they're just so crispy. Right, so 1 cup of almonds into your NutriBullet or high-powered blender. Coconut aminos again. We want 3 tablespoons. 3 tablespoons of this. And of course I've got a bottle that doesn't like to pour. So how's everyone's Saturday morning going? Friday night? Wherever you are in the world? Are you having a good time? Is it beautiful weather where you are? Okay, 3 tablespoons of the aminos. We want 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. So I'm squashing the lemon down in order to break all of the little sacs inside of it so that they come out nice and juicy. Take that off. And it's a no pip one, so 2 pips to squeeze out. I used to have one of those great lemon squeezers, but it died, broke on me. So I usually find With a good lemon, I'll get about 1 tablespoon per half. So about 2 tablespoons per lemon. And then give it a really good squeeze with 2 hands now. I really do need a better device, don't I? Squeezing it with your hands takes a little bit of time. My lime juicer is just a little bit too small for this. So I'm going to need another lemon. And really press down on your lemon. You'll be able to judge how juicy it is or not by how much it moves underneath your hand. And don't press too hard on lemons that are quite soft, or else you might end up splitting the lemon skin and ending up with juice everywhere, as I have done in the past. That's fun. Okay, so if you've got a lemon that delivers you about 2 tablespoons of juice, then you want 1.5 lemons. So there we go. So that's probably about 3 tablespoons there. Then we want 3 cloves of garlic. So just cut these up. You don't need to crush them or anything. You can just go in whole, but I do like crushing them just to get the skins off. It does make it easier, quicker. So I cut the end off, press down, and the skin just kind of pops off. Anyone's got a better way of peeling them, let me know. I discovered I was de-seeding avocados all wrong on one of these videos. Thank you, Jenny. You gave me a better way of doing it, much faster. Okay, and much safer too. So that's 3 cloves of garlic in there. Then we want 2 tablespoons of a Dijon mustard. I'm just using Woolies home brand. So about 2 tablespoons Dijon mustard. This is so simple to make, and it makes a decent volume too. And then 1/3 of a cup. 1/3 of a cup of nutritional yeast. I'll keep my nooch in a little container here. I have to keep virtually everything in containers in my cupboard. Look at this. You can see this up here. Oh, these ones I don't have containers for, but everything's virtually in containers, so because I have very little space. Makes everything fit. Okay, 1/3 of a cup of nooch. And then we want to add 1.5 cups of water. Right, so I'm going to add that now. Just going to add, filtered water would be ideal, but my filter is needs a clean. I haven't done that. Okay. So there we go. That is our raw almond dressing. So just whack the top on, blend it up until smooth. Simple as that. And there's a huge amount here as well. So I like to put them in these little bottles. Makes it look nice. So we'll just pour that in. Make sure you don't fill it too full. This will thicken up as well. So you may need to add a little bit more water to it the next day. So do leave just a little bit of room in the top of your bottle there. Not fill it right to the top like I did with the first one. Okay, so there's a little bit left in here, and I'm going to use that to at least start dressing. This one away. Okay, so now we can get on with making some more stuff. So now I'm going to put on my pan, I'm going to put the tofu on. Just make sure it's all getting nice and covered by the marinade. And I'm going to put the chickpeas into the air fryer. I'm going to put the chickpeas in for about 6 minutes, and then I'm going to have a look at them. If they need a little bit longer, I want them to be, they're already cooked obviously, but I want them to be a little bit crunchy. So not sort of still wet, but not overdone as well. I don't want them to be really tough. So I'm just going to play that by ear. Usually for me, I think around about 10-12 minutes does it, but I want to check them at 6 minutes and just make sure. So with this tofu, I'm putting my non-stick fry pan onto a medium heat, and I'll just let that heat up first. And then the chickpeas, I'm not going to pour into my, let's see the size of my kitchen. I'm not going to pour them into my air fryer because I don't want all the liquid to go in there either. I'm just going to spoon them in and try and just keep as much of the liquid out as possible, because the liquid will just go straight into the bottom and just cook to the bottom and become all sticky, which is actually okay because it does come off easily. There will be some residue on there as this cooks, but I don't want to exacerbate that. Right, so chickpeas, nice flavour, just absorbing that flavour. And believe me, if you can get your hands on some liquid smoke, do the liquid smoke. Use liquid smoke instead of the coconut aminos. They just come out so beautifully smoky. Right, 6 minutes they're going on. Now the tofu I'm just going to layer onto the pan, no oil obviously. And then I'm going to take some of this marinade, spoon it over over the tofu so that there's a little bit more. So the tofu can actually cook in more of the marinade, and what that does is it makes it go a little bit sticky around the edges of those pieces of tofu. And when you lift it off, it's sort of nice and burnt and a little bit sticky. Okay, so who's still with me? Hello Lisa, good to see you here. Right, now I need a bowl. Actually no, first of all, now this is not necessarily obviously it's not a traditional Caesar. I do take the opportunity to put extra bits and pieces into my Caesar. And some of the things I really love putting in there, just a few tomatoes, not too many, just fresh tomatoes. A little bit of cucumber I'll put every now and then, depending if I have it. I really like doing putting some asparagus in there. And what I do is I put the asparagus onto a griddle pan, which I've got over here. So you see that with the griddle. There you go. And I heat that up. Get that heated up first, and then put the asparagus on it. And the idea is that it just gets a little bit of char from those griddles, and we sort of steam it in a way. We'll put the pan on first. Get that going at a medium-high heat. And I'm just going to take my baby asparagus, literally like that, and just chop off all the ends. Throw those woody ends away. And the asparagus will just go onto the griddle pan like that. Just like that, nothing else. Right. Move some stuff off my bench here. Right. I also found some snow peas in the supermarket yesterday, so I'm going to throw a few of those in, and then a little bit of avocado as well. So, okay, so that pan is heating up. We're going to just layer these onto the pan to get those cooking. Lettuces. I like to use a romaine lettuce mostly, but sometimes I'll layer it up with some spinach as well, and I think I'll do that today. I have pre-washed my romaine lettuce. I've pre-washed a few leaves here. Make sure you wash your lettuces properly if you're going to use them, because nothing worse than biting into your delicious salad and chomping down on a piece of dirt. So I just cut the leaves right down, lengthways down the middle, and then just chop them up into little pieces like this. Edible, manageable pieces. You'll be able to stick it in your mouth easily. There we go, food flying on the floor already. Okay, nice big bowl. Throw a little in there. Don't have much space for spinach, but I will. So I'm just going to take a big handful and literally just cut that up to small bits as well. See you doing that there. You can hear that tofu cooking nicely. Just add that in. And we just want to mix that around. Now, I don't want to fill this too much. If I do, when it comes to layering in all my other bits and pieces, then I'll be throwing everything all over the floor. Okay, so the tofu is looking quite nice and sticky. I'm going to take you over there. Let's go. So you can see what that looks like. Hang on. There we go. You can see that little bit of stickiness that's happening around the edges. Right? That's what we're looking for. And there's the chickpeas done. So I'm going to turn the tofu now. And we're also looking for it to look like that on the underside. Excuse me, with my back to you. All right, so I'm going to take the marinade again and add some more so that the underside of that tofu gets that same treatment. Gets to cook in the marinade, and that marinade then goes nice and sticky and brown. All right, so that's done. And I'm going to give my asparagus a little bit of a turn. Just make sure that it starts to get touched on all sides so that it can cook all the way through. And looking at my chickpeas, what's going on here? Okay, I'm also just making sure they're not getting stuck to the bottom. So I can already feel that they aren't crispy yet, still soft. So I'm going to try them for another 4 minutes, see how they go. Right, so we've got our lettuce in, got our dressing, put away my nooch. Now, just layer up some other bits and pieces. So I'm just going to do some cucumber. The only cucumbers they had at the supermarket were the ones wrapped in plastic, for goodness sake. So much plastic in this world, isn't there? Okay, so I'm just going to cut it lengthways that way, lengthways that way, and that way. Right, and I'm going to put them together and slice them down so we get them in quarters. Beautiful. See? A few tomatoes, not too many. Now these are just little Solanato tomatoes. I just like to slice them into threes, or 3s or 4s for the longer ones. You do it however you like. But I like having little bites of tomato rather than trying to chomp my way through a big mouthful. Right, so then we'll just sprinkle those in as well. A few snow peas. Don't need too many. Just want to chop the ends off. How you're going here? Sorry, I've been keeping along with the comments. See who's watching. Yes, I love romaine. It's crunchy, and I believe of all the lettuces, not the dark green leafies, but the lettuces, I believe it has the highest nutritional content. I do not remember where I saw that. Please tell me if it's wrong. But I thought, oh, isn't that interesting? Most lettuces just don't quite have the same nutritional content as the dark green leafies. Obviously, the darker the colour, the more nutrients a food has. Yeah, romaine was up there apparently. So, all right, a few snow peas there. Add that to the mix. Done, 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 done. And then I'm going to add this avo as well. Now I can smell this tofu. I can smell it. I can smell the marinade charring. It's delish. And I'm starting to get a few little lines come up on my asparagus. Your asparagus, you can cook it. You can cook your asparagus as far as you like. You can cook it till it's charred. You don't have to. You cook it to how you like. Okay, so this is my tofu. See that? Nice and charred. Nice and charred on both sides. So what I'm going to do now is just bring it over here. I've taken off the heat, bring it down and let it cool on the bench. As you dress the salad, that char and that stickiness will sort of all disappear a little bit with mixing with the salad and the dressing, but that's okay. It's not a problem. So, now, I wanted to talk to you guys. Who here, put up your hand, talk to me if you have had amazing health benefits or shifts in your health. It didn't even have to be like lowering of cholesterol or reversing type 2 diabetes, but have you seen some major shifts in your health or in health improvements in general by going on a plant, or by adopting a plant-based diet? If you have, talk to me about that. The reason I ask is there is an amazing project that is out at the moment from the folks at wedidit.health. And they are looking for people and people's stories who have had health benefits as they have adopted a plant-based diet. And what they're doing is creating a database, a global database of stories, of actual numbers of people whose health has improved when they've adopted a whole food plant-based diet. So if this is you, I'm going to drop a link into the comments here afterwards. And if that's you and you would like to have your, I guess, your testimony or your number included in this database, I think it's really important that we do. The whole idea is that we are showing the world the benefits of, by statistics, basically by numbers, showing them the benefits of adopting a plant-based diet. So please, take part in this. You don't have to do much. I think you just fill out a very short questionnaire, and your numbers then get added to the total database. I will find the links for you and pop them in there a little later. And also, as a result of the changes or the health benefits that you've experienced, I imagine that somewhere along the line you have then you wanted to shout this to all your friends and family. Heck, I'm a health coach because I experienced shifts in my health as well, and I wanted to shout it to the world. So along the way, you discover that as you want to tell the world about it, people don't really want to listen initially. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but there's a lot of people who don't. So the team at wedidit.health are running a 4-part series coming up to help you, I guess, communicate and talk about the benefits of plant-based eating in a way that other people can hear. And just let me do my hands. I'll just quickly turn the asparagus as well. So I think this is really exciting because a lot of us do struggle to communicate with our friends and family about the benefits of plant-based eating. I'm just adding a little bit of water to this now. We're literally going to steam it. A tiny, tiny pinch of salt. And I use iodized salt. Okay, so yeah, so we really struggle to, I guess, not convince this probably isn't the right word, but struggle to talk to our friends and family about the benefits of a plant-based diet because essentially change is hard, and most of us, if you know human behavior, we change when we're in such pain, when our current situation is so painful to us that we simply can't stay there anymore. If we feel comfortable with what we're doing and we feel comfortable in life, we're not motivated to change. So this is likely the situation with a lot of our friends and family who have not yet experienced health issues, I would say, and not been in enough pain to look at their own health and make a change. So the folks that we did at Dot Health are running this 4-part series to help us understand and learn how to communicate with our friends and family in a way that they can hear. And the very first, I guess, series, the very first episode is happening. Well, it'll be 3 a.m. Sunday time for us here in Australia, but for everyone in the US, it's Saturday 12th. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be happening on their Facebook page. So if you want to watch it and you can't be there live, I am assuming that it will just be there on their Facebook page to go back and watch. All right. So I have reached out to them to ask them if it will still be up there on their page after it's actually happened. So again, I will drop the link into the comments if that is something that you are interested in either attending or watching at a later point. And today's session is going to be all about how to know if the person that you are speaking to is ready to hear the message that you have. So sometimes we're just kind of talking at people, but they're just not ready to hear that message. So that's what they're going to be talking through today. And they've got a couple of experts who will be presenting to you. So I highly, highly recommend that if this is something that you're struggling with, whether it's friends, whether it's family, that you get onto this series and watch it, because it's going to be really beneficial, really helpful to you. Okay, so asparagus is pretty much done. I'm going to turn that off now. You can see a nice little bit of char. You see that char, and still a little bit crunchy, just nicely steamed really. We get the heat on there, we get the char on there, we just throw a little bit of water on there. Woo, throw water on my face too. A little bit of water on there at the end, just to help it steam. Beautiful. Just going to dump that straight in. Not even going to cut it up. Not today. Straight in there. Lovely jubbly, as Jamie Oliver would say. Okay, so now my tofu has cooled down a little bit. Oh, just going to check on those chickpeas too. Make sure they're done. Feel like they might be. They're a little bit dark. Throw them all over the floor. There you go. I told you. I promised you I was going to throw food on the floor today. Right. Nice. Not quite crispy, but I like them. I'll leave them there. Okay. Back over there. Okay, so I'm just going to chop. I'm just going to cut my tofu pieces down the middle in half, lengthways. You know, imagine you're cutting a piece of bacon or something. I don't know if any of you are like me at this point in time yet. Just even the thought of eating a dead animal's body repulses me. So if you're not at that point yet, if you're at the early stages of adopting a plant-based diet, you still have these desires to eat animal foods, or if you are not yet at the point where you have adopted it and you're still holding on, believe me, after several years of not eating animal flesh, you simply will not desire it. It will just, the thought, and it will just be repulsive to you. So hang in there. So I'm just cutting it up into little pieces like that, and I'm just gonna sprinkle it all on there. Look, I may have even made a bit too much. No, I'll keep going because I know this is the bulk of the calories in my dish, because everything else is very much non-starchy vegetables, which can fill up a lot of bulk in your tummy, but not deliver a lot of energy. You can have a massive salad and it can fill up your tummy, and then 2 hours later you can still be hungry. So we want to make sure we've got some starchy veggies, starchy plant foods in there as well to deliver the majority of our energy and keep us going for longer. So yes, other things that I have been known to put into the salad just randomly, potatoes, sweet potatoes. Sometimes it's just whatever I've got. You could totally mix it up and make a completely different thing. Like I say, this is not even really that much representing a typical Caesar salad. It's just my version of it. You could put grains in there. You could put some quinoa or some barley or something like that to make it your own. Right. And now my chickpeas. Whoops. Looks like our salad's getting a little bit too high over here. You probably can't see it. It's piling up. So actually, see the size of my kitchen. What to do? Okay, so I think I want to just toss this a little bit first. Get some of those toppings down a little bit further. And then put the chickpeas on top. Just pour them straight in. Alrighty. And then dress with the dressing. The rest of that can go on. You can pour in as much as you like. Oh, it smells so good. Seriously, the garlic gives it a really beautiful flavor. The garlic and the nutritional yeast give it a really cheesy flavor. So good. So good. So yeah, then you just dress your salad, mix it all up, or you can literally just dress each serving as you have it. That's probably what I should have done. This serving is more than one, by the way. This probably lasts me 3, maybe 4 meals if I have it with something else as well. Like if I make some potatoes to go with it, potatoes or sweet potatoes to go with it, then it would probably last me 3, 4 meals. 4 meals maybe. It might be 2 or 3 if I just have it on its own. So it can be eaten as a meal on its own, or you can have it as a dish alongside other things. I made this for folks who came over for my birthday just before Christmas, and they loved it. But it was one of the dishes that I made out of 4, a Mexican beans, a potato salad, and a pasta salad, and everyone loved it. Alrighty, so there you go. My delicious, includes everything and anything that you want, Caesar salad with raw almond dressing. It is delicious. And I wish you could taste it. And that tofu is really good. All right. Well, that's us for today. Sorry. Let's look at the comments. Hey, Andrew. Good to see you watching. Hey, Kate. More energy, better mood. Yeah. Plant-based foods are definitely visually appealing. We as human beings, we have eyes that can see color because we are supposed to be attracted to foods with color. Right? Carnivores, cats, they don't see color like we do. They see movement. So as I see the plates of, people eating a standard Western diet, to me, it looks really bland and awful because I don't see the color. It doesn't look fresh. It doesn't look appealing. It looks stodgy. It looks like something that's going to make me incredibly tired and feel like rubbish. So yes, all the colours. We have these eyes that can see colour for a reason. Alrighty, beautiful. Thank you for that, Joanne. Okay, thanks, guys. That's it for today. Unless you have any more comments or questions for me, I will wait just a moment because on my phone everything is just a little delayed. We're a little bit delayed as we stream into Facebook. But yes, let me know now if you have any comments or questions or anything like that. And when I have finished downloading and uploading and all the tech stuff in the background, I will put the links for the We Did It event that is happening Saturday 12th for everybody in the US timing, so 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For us in Australia, Australian Eastern Daylight Time, it will be 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. So unless you're a night owl and you want to stay up and watch that, you might want to watch it tomorrow, assuming the replay's there. I'll also pop in the links to their calculator, I guess, and the survey that they're doing. Pop your story in there, just about the health benefits that you've experienced. Get your number and your story. Get your statistics counted. Because this really does matter. This is important stuff. This is important to showing the world the power of plant-based nutrition on our health, on our well-being. All right. Yes, Sandy, isn't it funny? Everyone makes things slightly differently, right? And I'm always interested to see how my clients make the dishes as well, and how it comes out. And it's like, oh wow, I never thought of cutting those things up quite chunky. I like them nice and finely diced and stuff like that, and seeing the different varieties that everyone makes. So yeah, and that's not a problem. That's great. I love seeing it's all variety. Alrighty. Thank you, team. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me again. I hope you enjoyed that. And I will, I'll be bringing you more of these series this year. I just need to plan out exactly what I'm going to do, and I'll pop those into the calendar. So just keep an eye on the calendar. If we are Facebook friends, I think Facebook will allow me to invite 500 people. So it literally just is an automatic thing. It will only ever invite the first 500 people that can. So if you're missing out on the events, being invited to the events, go into the events section of the group and have a look for them in there, and make sure you get them in your diary. Also, I've got some great interviews coming up. I'm just speaking to some amazing plant-based health experts, as well as people who've had amazing plant-based transformation stories. So I'm going to be bringing more of that stuff to you in this community as well. So invite your friends and family if you think they might need a little bit of nudging in the right direction, or want some recipes. But stay tuned. The events section is where you'll see all of that happening. And if you've got any questions or anything you would like to ask me, yes, Joanne, the recipe for this is in my free recipe download. So if you don't have that, let me know. Let me know in the comments, and I'll flick it to you. Otherwise, I think most people have that recipe book by now. So both the dressing and the salad recipes are in that ebook. If you can't find it as well, it should be in the guides somewhere as well. I think it's under my cooking show. I think if you look for the guide that is about cooking with Coach Kezza, I think that's where I've saved the recipe ebook if you don't have it. Okay, well, that was fun. And I will see you again shortly, guys. All right, ciao for now. Bye.